Hello everyone, RetaliationGuy here, aka Devlog, Game Director of SYNCBREAKER, and welcome back for more devlogs. It's been a while since I haven't done any other devlogs since I made the last devlog video in the first episode. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys doing alright, and yeah, I'm going to show you some progress that I've made so far with this devlog. There's not a lot of stuff, but I'm going to try my absolute best to explain it in my best my abilities what I've done so far in this project for now, ever since I've done the last video. So I'm going to show you some progress that I made with the player state machine and StateChart system. So I think I've mentioned in the last devlog where I am using StateCharts to actually control my thing, and I just realized that my screen capture is not working. Let me quickly fix that. Beautiful, lovely. So now I show you can have to see my mic. Beautiful, lovely. Essentially, I've talked about the state charts where I'm actually using state machine and state charts on the two different systems, where it will work together to control different parts of the capture, and they actually have been pretty important for the foundation of the game, because this will expand more features, more mechanics that I would like to add in the game. So yeah, let's actually start with the talk with the state machine and the state chart. So the actual main idea behind of the system is that the state charts will handle using signals and send the signals in communication between states, and while the state machine itself, which has its own node that actually handles the actual gameplay states and the behavior of the player. I'm not trying to having a giant system for controlling everything. I'm just trying to separate the character behavior into different states so that can able to work and can able to be connect and can able to work together in a way where it's not depending on other states or other nodes. Right now, as you can see in the state chart, so you can able to see that right now you can see the movement, the land, and the facing. This is actually using a feature that is included in the state chart, as it's called the parallel states. And basically, a parallel states allows me to run multiple states at the same time, instead of having only one active state here. So this also means that I can able to add new behaviors without basically, like for example, the players currently has separate states for the movement, land, and facing direction, and again it's all running simultaneously. I think I say it correct, which makes the progress control much easier to organize. But this also means I can have to add new behaviors without having to completely, rewrite the existing movement system, which is very awesome things to do. And you also have like an expression properties like falling, jumping. So of course, if you fall, you can able to, it will come to true. You can able to dash as well. I'm gonna show you the dash later actually, but you can see the idling, walking true, false, play results, etc, etc. I think this is already the guide debug is already there in the last devlog, but you already know what I mean. Okay, right. I'm going to talk about the dash type because it took so goddamn while to get this working with the current knowledge with my coding skill and the state charts. Of course, I had to use a little bit of AI as well to help me code out and stuff. It doesn't sound nice, but it did help me out to give me some brainstorm on how the coding, what I wanted to do, if that makes sense. So I'm not usually I'm not just copying and pasting AI code like ChatGPT or Claude to put in there. I'm just trying to ask the AI, hey, can you give me an idea on how to do this and solve this problem, etc. But finally, for many sorry, I'm not gonna try to swear. So many hours on trying to get the dash day working. Well, I basically finally died. So if I'm going to dash now, you can see that it is actually playing an animation as well for a dash. It has a timer, which is fantastic, which is something I really wanted to do. Of course, there's some stuff problem. For example, there's like a very bug feature, and of course, when I try to jump and dash, I want to have like a proper animation for jumping dash. But then again, that's something I can able to come back later to improve later. So again, when the player presses the dash button, Sorry, my English is very bad. When the player presses the dash button, the catcher will quickly move either in left or right in one direction. Again, the dash is controlled with the timer, if I didn't mention. So once the timer reaches to 0, the dash actually finishes and will go move back to the walk state or the idle state. I know for me, I'm explaining the way that is not simple when I try to explain like that, but getting the state to properly stay active while until the dash was finished took some major time. Again, I had to rely on using AI. It's just that the way I want the dash works is I'm trying to make it more dash similar mechanics to the Daddy's Disco. Again, for now, right now, this is just the foundation of the dash mechanic. I'm definitely going to, gonna be coming back later to improve it and, to make it feel and potentially add more functionality to it. But yeah, if you haven't even noticed as well that you can also see the player animation. So I've also started working some simple frame by frame animation from the player. So right now the animation are very basic. They're mainly there to give me something to work with while I'm building the actual gameplay system. But eventually I'm gonna expand this quite a lot to plan more moves and more animation that are designed with choreography in mind. And since this game is going to focus heavily on combat and timing animations, like synchronized with the music on the beat, I want the animation and the gameplay to work together rather than just having an animation that happen independently. That's something that I'm gonna try to plan ahead on how I'm going to animate and using those states, state charts, etc. There are also a non-combat and combat states. I think you know what? It's better if I'm going to show you right now. So you can able to see that there is to having 2 different modes for the player, which is the non-combat. I'm just gonna quickly just how do I expand this like this. So a non-combat mode and the combat mode. Basically, non-combat, which is currently working right now as the basic foundation, will be used when the player is exploring the level or doing things that don't involve fighting. Then there is the combat mode, which will be used to when the player actually enters this fight. So right now there aren't any actual combat mechanics yet. That's still something I'm still need to properly plan out before I start building the full system. Again, I'm trying to figure out how to make these architecture work and plan ahead as much as I can. As you can see right now, you can able to see that if I've just expanded now, you can see that the stage is basically like preparing the like signals and stuff, but it's also preparing the structure so that when I eventually add combat, I have somewhere to put those mechanics, which will be in the state machine here, which holds all the gameplay features that I need for the gameplay aspects. So you can able to see on my cursor right now that we also have a little dummy target in the level. Unfortunately, it's not actually doing anything. Literally, it just has a collider, cannot jump on towards it. Literally, it's basically there just like a placeholder for the combat system. For now, I'm gonna make a use for this for now, but once I finish setting up the combat mode, I will come back to this dummy and make it actually respond to the player attacks. For now, he's just standing there patiently waiting to get punched, which something that I don't have coded yet. This is something that I'm going to work on. Again, like I said, this will be used for I think this sprite display. So I don't know if you can able to see this there. So this will be used to actually forge a training level. So you can able to come here, select the music, and you can just start punching in the sync with the beat. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, again, there's not a lot of things to show you right now, but I have seen doing some improvements behind the architecture. So, and I'm actually getting used with the composition and the module system components that I'm building with the game. So I'm actually kind of happy with that so far. But let's go actually get out of the game and to talk about what's next of the game. What's next for the next devlog? So after finishing or uploading this video, I am going to focus on getting the combat mechanic system working alongside as well with the music system. So which is going to be a major system I'm going to work on. The idea is that whenever the player enters a combat or enters a level, the gameplay and the music will be synchronized together. And for example, when the player throws a punch, the action should line up with the beat of the music, whatever the music you have chosen, which something that I want to work on later. But that for now, trying to tell you, the foundation, what kind of music project, what kind of gameplay and music I'm trying to build with the architecture. And honestly, and this is me just being genuine and honestly, that this is probably going to be one of the most hardest and longest part for development for me, because I have never ever coded a rhythm game before. There's going to be a lot of time to figure out, and I'll need to work out on how to keep the gameplay timing consistent with the BPM or beats per minute with frames together as well. So, and how to play input interacts with the beat, how the comment itself can be responsive while still need to synchronize with the music. So it's gonna be a very interesting challenge, and I don't think there's not many Godot tutorial videos on how to actually do rhythm games in action. So of course there are some rhythm tutorials videos, but not about one of those DDR style games. So I want to make it where how that is disco is done, where every time you punch it will synchronize with the music. There's gonna be a lot of trial and error. Yeah, hopefully I can able to show it to you the combat system and the BPM music system in the next devlog. If not, then that means you know that it's gonna take a lot. It for me is, I'm trying just taking a while for me to do it. So I might know that it's gonna be challenging. Oh god! And the fact that I need to try to create like a frame database system as well. So this is going to be a little bit, I just realized how challenging it's going to be. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for this devlog now. For the next devlog, like I said, I'm going to show you the first version of the combat system. Again, it's not going to be a lot of movements, or maybe like a just quick punching, maybe quick kicks, etc. So with the combat system, it's something I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Again, I'm going to use the power of YouTube, forums, and maybe a little bit of AI if I'm really stuck. Like I said before, maybe even some kind of a music and beat synchronization mechanic if I can get it working in time. Yeah, like I said, if I can't get the music synchronization working by then for the next devlog, then I'll probably save that for another devlog video. Sorry, I'm not very bad. I'm very bad when it comes to making scripts and stuff, so bear with me. But either way, there's a lot of work to do right now, and I'm going to actually look forward to see how it goes. That's pretty much it. Again, I'm kind of a little bit tired. I'm way tired because this actually took a toll on getting the dash state working that what I wanted. So, but hopefully maybe again, I'm motivated after the thing. Now I'm ready for the next challenge, which is the music. Oh, it's gonna be hell. Or should I live stream it actually? No, who knows? Maybe I'll see what I plan to do. I'm not gonna leave it that too long. I'm gonna try to make it another 20 minutes. Thank you for watching for this devlog. Now I'll see you guys in the next devlog, or maybe another video, or maybe different video. I don't know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the progress I've done so far. Take care and peace out. Bye bye.